So when we first had our first team meeting and we went over about everything you can go over in our program, one of the things we told our guys was that we wanted to win championships. And we created a vision. We had a plan. And when I walked out of that room that day, I can promise you, I don't feel like I lost one player. It was probably just an probably a 2-hour meeting, and I didn't think I lost one player. They were on the edge of their seats. They were sitting up straight, and they never lost eye contact with me. And I remember thinking, well, that probably went as good as I thought it could ever go. And when you go through this journey, there's so many things that have to happen to win a championship of any sort, especially when you take over a new program. Number one, I want to give credit to Coach Henderson and the rest of the staff because we have a lot of really good players. And it starts with that. And I want to tell you guys again that I believe in my heart that I hit a grand slam with the coaching staff that I hired. Todd Williams, Jimmy Bellinger, and Roland Fanning, I think these guys would tell you, I hit a grand slam and I won a championship just by hiring them alone. Whether we won a championship this year or not, I believe that with all my heart. And then the players have been unbelievable. I have told you guys over and over, they've done everything that we've ever asked. Everything. And change is so hard for adults, let alone student athletes. And this group, I could not be more proud for them.
We'll now open the floor to questions for Kentucky student athletes only. Derek?
Logan, for you being a senior, team not making the tournament the past 2 years, what does this mean to you?
I mean, it's meant a great deal, but, having a new coaching staff brought in and the things that we've done this year are, everything we set out to do, we've kind of done or gotten very close. And now that we have a chance to move on to Omaha, or to a super regional and then Omaha, but we're in place to do everything that we wanted to do. And, I couldn't thank the coaching staff enough, and the guys have bought in since day one. So, it's just very special.
Got quite a few in line here, but we'll start with Brian in the back.
The hit off the wall that seemed to break open the momentum. I know Coach does talk about momentum, but it seemed to open everything up. Can you talk about that?
Yes, sir. So going into that bat, we had pretty good research on the guy, and he liked his slider. So after he threw a first pitch slider up, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sit fastball for these next couple of pitches. And when I ended up got into a pretty good count, in my opinion, to get that slider back, I was like, all right, we're going back to it. And Coach Fanning from the first pitch was like, all right, we're going to go into your two-strike approach right away to shorten up my swing, get everything going. And I saw it up, and honestly, I hit it, and I was watching the right fielder. And once he stopped running, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's turn the burners on and try to get a second. So,
Moose.
You guys have talked about, for all three of you, early in the season practicing dogpiling and everything, and that seemed to be kind of the first one where you got to follow through with that. What was that feeling like to kind of be in the middle of that?
honestly, it hurt a little bit, but it was incredible, and we're hoping for a few more down the road.
You good?
Go ahead. Does that,
I mean, I got caught on the bottom of that, and that's a lot of weight coming down. So I hadn't necessarily practiced that exactly, but I'll never forget the image in my head of just looking at the dugout and seeing all those guys just rush at me, and the feeling of being crushed right there. It was so worth it. Just having that image and that memory in my head, and it was just so cool.
Go ahead.
So this is the second time in this regional that the attendance record has been beaten here at the club. How much does that mean to you guys, and what do you have to say to the fans to come out next week and support you guys?
We'll start with Logan on that one.
I mean, it's been amazing. The support that they've showed in the last few days has been really special, and you know, to be able to go right down the road and play again this week, you know, it's a pretty easy travel, and if you can make it to the Cliff, I'm sure you can make it out to Louisville. So, you know, we need to pack that place too, and it was amazing, and it was so special to be able to be a part of such a great crowd, and the atmosphere was something I'll never forget. So it was truly amazing.
Alex.
You guys, after getting ready for an elimination game in a regional final, and then to have a 2-hour, 20-minute rain delay, I mean, was that difficult to regroup during that and come back out and be ready to play?
I think we've been prepared for that all year, and we've done a lot of things to make our program. We were really tough. We really are, and we have just a mindset that is unbeatable. And it's funny, I was thinking about this earlier. I was reading a bunch of stuff, but one of my really good friends, Donnie Everett, passed away almost a year ago, earlier this week, and one of the articles today talked about how after he passed away, the guys that were with him saw a rainbow when they were driving to the police station. And it was only fitting, when we came out of that dugout, or came out of the locker room, we saw a big old rainbow. I'm sure many of you guys got pictures of that. And it just puts everything to perspective, We're very thankful for everything we have, but we're a very close team, and we're brothers. We really are. We're family, every single one of us. So I love everybody on this team.
Jeff in the front, then Jerry.
Sean, you're out there trying to get the biggest outs of your season, and the crowd is just bonkers. They're singing. Do you pick up on any of that, or are you so focused and dialed in that you don't?
Usually I try and kind of block that out, but when the entire stadium's singing Sweet Caroline, I kind of got chills, and that was another unforgettable moment. But like Logan touched on earlier, having Big Blue Nation come out and support us and break the attendance record twice in one weekend was just huge, and having that support behind us and just knowing that we have the support of basically the entire city behind us is just so cool.
Jerry.
Sean, the NC State coach said that after you threw 107 pitches Friday, he didn't think you would be the same pitcher today. What got you through it, and why were you so effective?
Just knowing that I have my guys behind me and going up there on the mound every single time with that support and that love behind me it's the greatest thing. It's the only thing I need. It truly is, and having that support of the defense and the offense and the dugout and BBN this weekend, that's all I need to get through.
We have time for two more. We'll start over here.
Sean, in that ninth inning, started out with the 2-2 count, but then you started pounding the zone for the final two batters. What was your approach on the mound, and what were you doing correctly, I guess, mechanically?
It wasn't really a mechanical thing. It was just going out there and knowing that if I just throw strikes and they put balls in play, my defense is going to make plays. And it's just really that simple. Going out there with a 5-run lead and just pounding the strike zone. Nobody wants to sit there and see a bunch of guys walk to first base. So just going up there and just pounding strikes and getting swings.
We'll end the player portion with Mike.
I know that it's still early and you guys are just coming off this win, but talk about the matchup with Louisville. What are you looking forward to about that?
We'll start with Cole on that.
Louisville's a great team, and we're really excited for the opportunity to play them. We were focused a lot on this game. We were trying to get through to make it to them, and we're really excited to play a team like them.
That'll end the player portion of the press conference. They're dismissed. Congratulations and good luck next weekend.
Good job.
We'll now open with questions for Kentucky head coach Nick Mingione. We'll start with Jerry Tipton.
What did you think of the atmosphere, the crowd, and the rain? I mean, despite the rain, how much they were into it?
Oh, it was incredible. And when I went and sent the players to the locker room, what I tried to do was I held them in that dugout as long as possible. And I'm watching the radar, and Coach Bellinger's like, how many times are you going to watch that? And I'm watching this storm come, and it's like, man, the people are all still in the stands. And I'm like, I'm going to keep our players here as long as possible because I don't want them to leave the dugout because I'm afraid that people are going to leave. And you know what? We sent them back to the locker room, and we told them we didn't want them to get on their phones. We wanted them to be in the locker room and just hang out with each other, enjoy the moment and the time spent together. And when I came back out, and I heard the announcement, and they said, okay, we're going to open up the stadium or whatever again. And the people started flowing back in. I'm like, I cannot believe all these people are still here. And if you don't think that ba, 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 and them cheering like that doesn't help, man, you're crazy because I'm confident that they helped us win that game today. And I couldn't be more appreciative.
Can you talk through the moments that what you were feeling on that last out, and then seeing the dog pile and seeing them, run to the outfield, greet the fans, and kind of climb the fence in the outfield?
So every time I've ever been a part of a championship, and the Lord has really blessed me, I've been a part of a bunch, and what I've always do is first I want to go shake the hands of our opponents. to be respectful to them, and then I just go sit in the chair and I just watch, and I watch them celebrate. And I couldn't control myself. I was crying because I've been around these guys for, 11 months now, 10 or 11 months. And I know how hard they've worked in all years of their life, not just baseball. And if you were to ask me, hey, what's your favorite thing as a coach? As far as on the field goes, it's to watch my players celebrate a championship, because I believe this with all my heart. They just did something that's never been done before in the history of the baseball program. We've been playing baseball over 100 years here. And they're going to be able to tell their kids, they're going to be able to tell their families, they're going to be able to tell their wives. And hopefully the baseball thing works out and they play 10 years in the big leagues. And if it don't, and if it doesn't, and they go into business, I promise this equips them. I promise this goes way deeper than just baseball. This makes them believe that they can do things that have never done before, and that's really powerful.
Derek in the front, then Brian in the back.
Nick, with the pitching staff tonight, was it not as what you wanted it to, or did you have to change things up whenever Flo got in trouble for Salem, or was that just what you wanted?
So we sat in the locker room as a coaching staff, and we just basically said, okay, best case scenario, low Salo jelly. It's exactly what we talked about. But we didn't know how that was going to go. So we had Pop down there. He was ready to go. Justin Lewis was ready to go. That played out in the exact order of names of how we played it out in our brain before the game. Exactly. And Pop was our wild card. We had him ready to rock and roll.
The ebbs and flows of the game. Early on, it seemed like you could not catch a break. The diving catch in center field, and it was like, is it going to happen? Was there a moment in the game when you felt, okay, now we've got it on track?
So their offense is really good. So you don't ever feel like you have a big enough lead against them just because I think their offense is that good. And, we've played some teams where they didn't have that type of offense. So you felt like, man, you'd get a 3-run lead and, hey, you're safe because 3 runs feels like 6. But that wasn't the case. When we scored those 3 runs in the 7th, I thought that was huge. I thought that was a big moment in the game. And then obviously in the 9th inning when we got 3 more, I thought that was, now we just doubled them up and it's 10-5, and I thought it'd be difficult to recover. Excuse me, especially the way Sean was throwing the ball.
Dick, then Jerry.
Dick, you're down in Chapel Hill, you've lost on Sunday, your kids are upset, and you keep telling them, we're going to be good, we're going to win, and they were like, Did you envision this even then?
I didn't know. I didn't. When I envisioned this was when we lost our 4th game in a row. When we lost to Liberty, and we lost on the road again by 1 run. And I saw how hard our guys competed. When people ask me next year, you're going to ask me, hey, how good this team's going to be, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know until I know if they can take a punch. Till you get punched in the face, I don't know how tough my team was. And we got punched in the face 4 times in a row. And we had lost 4 games by the total of 5 runs, and they never stopped competing. Never. And I remember standing on that bus and telling them that these losses were my fault. And that I'm going to make some adjustments, but you guys just keep competing your hearts out. You guys are awesome. We're going to do it. And I saw how tough our team was. But after that 4th loss, that's when I knew we can do something. But because when everything's going well, that's great, but I love the saying, you learn a lot about somebody by the way they act when things don't go their way. And the things weren't going our way. We were 0-4, and our guys just loved on each other. They competed their hearts out, and they never gave a pitch away. And I knew we had really good players. I knew we had really good coaches, and I just knew this could be possible.
Jerry.
Can you put in perspective Sean throwing 107 pitches Friday, 2 days rest, and then 3 hitless innings tonight?
Yeah, so I knew that was going to be the question. So to understand a pitcher's 7-day routine, Sean Jelly, every single Friday he throws, right? He pitches. And every Monday he throws a bullpen. So today's his bullpen day. And the bullpen is usually about 25 to 35 pitches, right? Do you know how many pitches he threw today? 35. So there was the part that was so impressive with that is he threw 35 pitches in 3 1/3 innings. right? That's really, you want to talk about being economical and efficient with 5 strikeouts, right? Normally strikeouts jack the pitch count up. There's 15 alone right there, right? In just his punch outs. So this was a normal day. He had been lobbying. He knew he wanted the ball. And I just, with Logan throwing yesterday and coming back, we like to put him in the middle because Jelly, he's closed games before, right? Last year he set the freshman record for saves, right? I think he had 8 as a freshman. So being his bullpen day and with everything on the line, when you have the SEC pitcher of the year and he's set up to throw a bullpen anyway, you might as well use him.
Guys, we only have time for a few more, and they've all been reserved. We'll start with Derek in the front.
Nick, in postseason play, games like this, a bunch of small things get overlooked. But how important do you think it was for guys like Ragsfield, Bonds, Carson, safety squeeze?
Yeah, crucial. You saw our offense. At one point, we had 6 hits and 10 runs. Let that soak in, right? We had 6 hits. We had more runs than we did hits, right? That's not normal when we did not hit a home run. So you guys heard me talk about offense. There's different – I love pizza. All right, you guys have heard me do the pizza example, right? So when you think of a pizza, there's 8 different slices. Well, when you think of offense, it's like that pizza. Well, hitting is only one slice of that pizza. There's strike zone discipline, which we did an awesome job of. There's the HBP. There's situational hitting. There's bunting. There's base running. There's base stealing. All these things go into offense. And we showed our offense tonight. We showed and we fired all our bullets and we ate all the different slices of pizza because it was going to take everything.
Alex, and then we'll end over here.
You mentioned Cole was kind of an unsung hero of yesterday. For him to have that obviously huge double, what do you think that meant to him and what seems to be an emotional at this point?
Yeah, he has been great these past 2 days. Guys, we just played 5 games in 4 days. That's hard. And he caught 18 innings yesterday, and we wanted to put him back in. And you know what? We would not be here if it wasn't for Troy Squires, right? The job that he's done. So when you got 2 good catchers that way, Cole's been swinging a hot bat. He hasn't caught as much. Troy has caught a ton. We just felt like, I think going into the last 10 games, Cole was almost hitting 500. So when you start putting all those things in, and the way the ballpark was playing early in the week, it was pretty offensive. And we just thought, hey, Cole, this would be a good opportunity for Cole to get in there, and it allowed us to get Becker in there. And but we wouldn't be here without Troy Squires. But boy, has Cole caught him. I mean, was he special and continued his hot hitting ways. And he deserves it because when we went and we started catching Troy in all those games in a row, he never one time. When I went up to him, I told you guys yesterday, hey, man, you're not doing anything wrong. Stay with it. He's like, no problem, Coach. I got it. And all he's done is prepare for this moment. And when you have a guy that prepares the way he does, you're confident he's going to succeed.
Nick, when you're on the field there at the end with the bike, what are you thinking? Did you plan that beforehand? What was the mood like for that?
So I didn't know that, and I don't remember if it was Greg or Nathan or who was. I think it was Greg. He handed me the mic and said, hey, you want to talk? I'm like, yeah, I can't miss this opportunity, right? Plus, I've never been shy to talk. But I just couldn't miss that opportunity to thank the fans because you guys, especially you local guys, I mean, it's local media, it's been unbelievable. When you just sit there and we take those bleachers down, it doesn't even look like the same stadium, and to see that many people there. And it was really important for me to bring Kristen and Reeves out there because we talk all the time about having a family atmosphere, and you don't get to do what I do and the rest of our coaches if you don't have amazing wives. So they needed to see that, and they needed to see Reeves out there because it truly takes everyone, including my wife and my son and all the sacrifices she makes, and then all the sacrifices our fans made. I mean, it was like 1 o'clock. Wasn't it like 1 o'clock in the morning? I mean, like people got to work tomorrow. It's like, man, it just showed how much people really, really love UK baseball and how much our young men mean to them.